Testing, 1, 2, 3. We are live now, as you can see. You're listening to the Algo Capitalist, aka The Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. All right, so here's the situation. Here's what's going on. Here's what you need to know. All right, so I've been very busy these past few weeks. I have been in the lab. I've been doing my thing. And so I haven't had a lot of chance and opportunity to go live because I've been doing research. I'm always researching. And just when I think that I'm done with my research, lo and behold, I'm not. Lo and behold, there's more work to do. So I find myself living in the lab, like straight up living in the lab. And there's really no way for me to get around that. I'm a lab kind of guy. And I'm always finding things out because, like I've told you before, I am a very nosy individual. And I ask a heck of a lot of questions for someone who is so nosy. It's just how it is, you know? The thing, though, is that when you do become nosy and when you do ask a lot of questions, sometimes those questions lead to more questions that lead to more questions. And then you have new questions. So you're just all over the place. There's so many different topics and conversations for us to have and that we could deal with. But I have to prioritize myself. I have to pace myself because there's so much information. There's so much going on right now. So the best way for me to go about tackling everything is just to sometimes just come out with it. And that's what I'm doing today. In the past, I have done, live FOMC day things, but this one was just so complicated and so convoluted. And I was so busy in the lab, I just didn't do it. I didn't have time to do it, and I wasn't stressing over it. I had to do what I had to do. So that's where we are right now. This is where we have arrived. We are now here. This is the day after what happened. And by now, everyone knows what happened. You know that they decided to do a 75 basis point rate hike, the second 75 basis points rate hike in a row. And things have been moving at an unprecedented level. But it still doesn't erase all of the economic uncertainty. And now here we are a day after the FOMC. As I'm speaking to you now, Janet Yellen is also speaking. For those that don't know, Janet Yellen is the U.S. Treasury Secretary who used to be the chairman of the Federal Reserve prior to this. And this is the same Federal Reserve and the same individual who said that they didn't see inflation as an issue, that their program of keeping rates at, below 2%, below or at 2% was in line, and that was not an issue, and it was never going to be an issue. And then after they're wrong, instead of apologizing, say, you know what, I was wrong. They say, no one could have known this. No one could have known. And then you have, people all over the world, economists, other economists, and traders like myself and just, whatever, saying, you're wrong. I believe this and this is why. So they've been wrong on so many levels. And like I had said in prior live streams, it's either they're incompetent or they're evil. Which one is it? They're incompetent because they keep getting it wrong and they've never been right. And therefore, the Federal Reserves and the central banking system needs to be done away with. Or they're evil, which means everything that has happened has been done on purpose. So we need to decide quickly which one is it. Because I'm not an economist. I don't work at the Treasury and I don't work at the Federal Reserve. But I know well enough to know that they were building a house of cards on sand during a hurricane and that it was going to end badly. I'm not the only one. You got other people on social media, even mainstream media. They bring on people from time to time like Peter Schiff and Reggie Middleton and Jim Rogers and a host of other people, and they say, caution ahead, warning, danger. And they've been saying it for years. All the names of the people I just mentioned, to my understanding, are a lot older than I am. So they've been doing it a little bit longer than me. And I've been doing this for a long time, coming up on almost 30 years. And why wasn't the powers that be listening? When these guys started sounding the alarm, and then I came along, they were outside before I was outside. But when I came outside, when I came of age, then I came outside, I started cautioning some things. No one listened. No one at the Treasury listened. No one at the Federal Reserve listened. Instead, they marginalize us and they censor us. And they do all they can to put a stop to us. So I have to believe that it's not incompetence, but instead it's evil. So because of all of the, to borrow a quote from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, evil, evil. That's what we're dealing with, pure evil. So what is the end result? The end result is catastrophe, cataclysm. I warned you guys. I told you that we were at a precipice. We were at a crossroads. I told you that there was infighting. The powers that be were divided against themselves. A house divided against itself cannot stand. There were some that wanted to do the right thing. They wanted to try to rebuild, not the build back better crowd. No, those are the evil people. I'm talking about the ones that wanted to restore the economy by producing jobs and bringing manufacturing back home from overseas, thinking about your home first. That's what I'm talking about. Fixing our infrastructure, doing all the right things. Now, unfortunately, that crowd has been losing power and losing ground for decades. So their voices are becoming softer and softer instead of louder and louder. The evil crowd has intricately woven themselves into pretty much every fabric of society. So they have all the power. They control the courts. They control the police. They control the military. They control the media. And they control the money. And they control the manufacturing base that manufactures everything that we need and use. So they've been able to push forward their agenda with a lot more force, power, and vigor. So this is where we've come to. This will end badly. They're blaming their wicked and evil choices on nature. They're blaming the results of their evil decisions on the people, saying it's your fault because you have such a ginormous carbon footprint. They're blaming the people, saying it's your fault because you consume too much, even though they designed the system as a consumer-based economy. And then they want to blame you. They say, well, it's your fault because of your speaking out, and because you've spoke out and tried to destroy our narrative, you're evil and you needed to be censored. So you're the cause of this. And they'll go on and on and on, blaming the people instead of the people that were voted in office to do the bidding of the people. Instead, they started doing the bidding of the shadow government, the shadowy forces that control the government, the same shadowy forces that control the corporations, that control everything else. And instead, that agenda has been pushed forward. There's corruption now in pretty much every fiber and fabric of the economy. All types of conspiracy. The nation itself was built on conspiracy. That's why they hate the word conspiracy. That's why they try to militarize the word conspiracy so that you would stop using it. So that even if you wanted to use it, you would feel sick and nauseous. They don't want you to use the word conspiracy. So they had to get out in front of it and call anyone who investigates their crimes as a conspiracy theorist. So the word conspiracy is bad, even though they know that they built this economy and this nation on conspiracy. For those that don't understand that, educate yourself. Take a look at what happened. Take a look at how this country went to war against its king at the time and separated itself from that. That's a conspiracy. The founding fathers conspired against the king in England and broke away. That is a conspiracy. People conspired to do something against the established power. They rebelled. All right. So the country was built and based upon rebellion. Not only that, but the way that the financial system is structured is also structured on a conspiracy. Look at the fiat banking system in and of itself. That in and of itself is a conspiracy. The way they do things, the way the Federal Reserve put itself into power is a conspiracy. Everything that you see, hear, and touch in the United States of America and the Western world by and large is based on conspiracy. Even the fact that they conspired to colonize the world. Colonization was a conspiracy. They conspired to go into foreign lands and take other people's natural resources and take for themselves their women and enslave their men and children, and said, this is a good thing. We're doing the Lord's work. Now, you have to have some type of gall to do such a thing. So think about it. Your country was built by sociopaths. It's no wonder that the nation has become a giant nation full of sociopaths. Those are just the facts. I know truth hurts, but it is the truth. So where do we go from here? Well, they designed a medical emergency to cover up the financial destruction that they had caused. Therefore, they won't be blamed for it, but they can blame a disease. So see, all of this is because of a disease. The last time I checked, a disease never robbed a bank. A disease never invaded a country and took out its military forces and its infrastructure and enslaved its people. A disease never stuck a man up in the alley. A disease never picked anyone's pockets. A disease never raped and pillaged. No, no, and no. But man has done all those things. And lately, man has chosen to do those things under the auspices and excuse of there's a disease. There's a disease, Mr. Plumber, Joe the Plumber. So I have to punch you in the face and take your wallet out of your pocket by force. And because it's a disease, I have to give myself emergency rights to take your rights away and to lock you in your house under house arrest. And the American people and the people worldwide said, okay. They even psychologically programmed the enslaved to get angry at other slaves who failed to fall in line. There is numerous videos in social media showing people walking up to other people. Hey, you don't have a mask on, slap. Hey, you don't have a mask on, punch, kick, stab, shoot. That wasn't the government doing it. That was the people doing that because they had been so psychologically brainwashed that the government didn't have to do anything anymore. The people were doing the government's bidding for it. So how do you break out from a people who've been brainwashed with cultic type precision? You know, it's funny that the U.S. government claims that the government of North Korea is a cult when its own government is a cult. They use the mainstream media to hypnotize and brainwash their citizenry. That's psychological manipulation at its finest. Well, why would you think that the psychological manipulation would stop at accounting and at finance? No, it's all inclusive. You keep printing money until the money is no longer money. Stimulation after stimulation after stimulation. There is such a thing as overstimulation. There is such a thing as being overly stimulated. And overstimulation can lead to death. You ever heard of a person that was scared to death? They were so frightened that their heart stopped. That's overstimulation. Yes, that can happen, and it has happened. Well, the economy has been overstimulated for over 2 decades, non-stop money printing for 2 decades. I want you to get that in your mind. The U.S. government, by way of the Federal Reserve Central Banking System, has printed money every month, non-stop, for 20 plus years. Now, of course, they lowball you. Oh, we have a national debt of about $4 trillion. That's a lie. It's a Googleplex of dollars. It's an infinite amount of money. You're printing every month for 20 years. And they say everything is okay. What would happen if you charged up your credit card to its maximum limit every month and never made a payment, but yet they allowed you to continue to max it out every month without receiving a payment for 20 years? You would have an insurmountable amount of debt to the point where you would not even be able to service the interest and the monthly payments on that debt. What do we call a person who has more liabilities than assets? There's a word for that, and it begins with a B. It's called bankruptcy. If your assets lead I'm sorry, if your assets dwarf in comparison to your liabilities, you're bankrupt. If your liabilities exceed your assets, you are bankrupt. Well, the U.S. government's liabilities exceeds its assets. That is what you call living above one's means. You can't afford it, so you collapse. But it's not an organic situation. See, you can have a situation where your income is X, and then you get into a horrific accident, or you contract a deadly disease and it wipes out your savings. Now that's an organic situation that you could not avoid. You were sitting at a red light and a tractor trailer comes barreling out of nowhere and crashes into you and hurts you real bad. That's not your fault. That's an organic situation that happened. All right, things like that can happen. You're minding your business 1 minute and you're a victim the next. If something like that happened, we will be like, we understand, we get it. Things happen, right? But that's not what happened. This was done on purpose. They created scenarios and situations to make it okay and palatable to the American people so that they can continue to push their agenda along. They created false terrorist attacks, fake diseases, just so they could enslave the people even more and get the last leg of their new financial and crippling tyrannical system in place. And the people went along with it. They even paraded clowns and puppets in front of the American people as their president, and the people voted for them. And they even made you believe that one of the clowns and puppets was the real deal, the second coming of King David or King Solomon. And the people ate it up, and they were wrong. Every time the American people have voted, they've been wrong. And you want to know why they've been wrong? Because it doesn't matter if they voted Democrat or Republican, they were going to be wrong. Every sitting president since Kennedy in the United States of America has been the president during some type of crisis, major crisis. As long as I've been alive, I have not known a time of peace in my lifetime. There has been no peace. The country where I reside has been at war with someone, either overtly or covertly, since I've been alive. That is insanity. I have never known a time of peace. Since I have been alive in the United States of America, I have known nothing but wars, even wars disguised as military actions, police actions, peacekeeping actions. War is still war. If you are killing someone, it is war. If you're going overseas to a foreign country and killing its citizens, that is an act of war. There's no other way to describe it or explain it. It is an act of war. When you print money and debase the currency into oblivion, that too is an act of war. It's financial sabotage, economic warfare. The American people have known nothing but warfare since their existence. Nothing but war, disguised as peacekeeping missions. And they tell you that if we don't do this, then these big bad boogeymen are going to attack us and take away our freedom, when in fact it's your own government that's taking away your freedom, bit by bit, step by step. And the people do nothing. The people say nothing. What do you call it when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? We call that insanity. And yet the American people do the same thing every election year, hoping for different results and never getting it. It's called insanity. It's ridiculous. But now we're here. What are you going to do? Well, you know that all this is happening by design. They shut down the global economy, knowing what that was going to result in. See, they knew that the only way they could get their final leg of their New World Order installed was by force. They had to force it. They had to make it happen, because if they allowed you to vote on it, it would never happen. If you knew what they were really doing and up to, you would never allow it, and they couldn't allow that to happen. So they have to continually use psychological manipulation, social psychological manipulation. They do it through TV and movie, and they do it through radio. They do it through every means they can think of, advertising, all of these things. That's how they do it, through social psychological manipulation. Our government's very existence is one of conspiracy. They conspire to deceive the American people every day. Every day, the American people are lied to and deceived on some level through form of government, fiat, and manipulation, by means of psychosociological manipulation, by means of brainwashing. They lie to you. Everything around you that you see and hear is a lie. And how do they keep this going? Well, you figure when you have a major percentage of your population on some type of psychotropic drug, that makes them a lot more docile and easier to control. When you have the majority percentage of your population on some sort of pharmaceutical drugs, that makes them a little bit more adamant about, going along to get along. When you have the majority of your populace dependent on its government for everything, it makes them easier to control. And that is where we find ourselves today. This is not going to end well. We're already starting to see chaos around Earth, the planet Earth, the globe, whatever you want to call it. Chaos is upon us, and it is not much that the people can do about it, because it's too late. You allow them to amass too much power, and now you can't take it back. It's over for you. It's a wrap. The time to act was decades gone by. Not now. It's too late now. The time to react to the assailant that has broken into your home, the time to act to stop him is not after he robs you. It's not after he has raped your children and your spouse and robbed you of all your physical assets in your house. It's not the time to react and to stop him. It's not after he slit your throat and ran off. That's not the time to finally say, okay, you know what? I think I need to do something about this. No, the time has passed. It's now too late for you to react to him. Instead, you stood there and watched him do all these things and you did nothing. And now you're like, there must be something we can do. No, it's not. You had all the time in the world to do something, and you didn't. You did nothing. Not even the smallest thing to stop him. And now you want to rise up and do something. Now you want to protest. Good luck with that. It's over for you. So this is what you have coming. This is what you need to expect to have coming to you. All right. So they're going to start slow at first, and then they're going to ratchet it up incrementally, and then they're just going to start just taking. So your end game here is to take away your bank account. It's already happening in other parts of the world where citizens are being told your checking and savings account that you have in your bank is no longer a bank account. We consider that a security, and therefore it's subject to forfeiture. So we're just going to go ahead and take that. We know you only had $10 in there, but that's okay. We need that 10. Let me get that 10. Then they're going to hit you with hyperinflation. So as you go to the store every week, you've already seen prices go up for everything. There was a point in time in the grocery store where you could find things for pennies, but now it seems like everything in the grocery store is at least $5. Everything in the store is $5. You just want one tomato, $5. You just want one apple, give me $5. The grocery store is saying, yeah, let me get that $5 from you. Everything in the store is $5 and up. So you're going to see that continue to grow and get higher and higher to the point where you're not going to be able to afford to buy anything in the store that's at a store coming near you. And while this is happening at the same time, they're going to start rationing and say, no, you can only buy one apple today, not a bag of apples. If you wanted a bag of apples, you should have came and got it 3 Thursdays ago when we were allowing people to get a bag of apples, but you missed that window. Now you can only have one apple. Oh, and by the way, it's not the freshest apple. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's a rotting apple, but that's all they got left. And if you want it, it's $5. So you're going to be faced with that. Then the next step is when you get to the store, not only can you barely afford to buy anything in there, and not only are you going to be hit with rationing, but now on top of rationing and being on top of the astronomical prices, now you have real scarcity. Now you can't even locate anything to eat in the store. And if you can locate it, it's going to be astronomical in price, and it's going to be rationed to you. So you have hyperinflation on top of rationing on top of not being able to locate anything. It doesn't matter. Hey, I'm a multi-billionaire. I will pay someone $1 million right now for a bag of groceries. And you will actually see people coming out and putting ads in the paper for that, coming out on social media, TikTok, you name it. Yo, right now, I'm giving $1,000 to the first person who can meet me at the corner with a sandwich. Yes, that is what's coming. You want to know what the end game is? There you go. I just told you. Good luck locating the things you want at the grocery store. And when you do, it's going to be rationed to you, and or you may not be able to afford it. But that's just the grocery store. We haven't even talked about the bank. So the banks will, also ration you. They'll say, okay, you can only take out $100 a day from your checking or savings account, and it'll be limited. The first 100 people to get to the bank can take money out. Everyone else is short. The bank is closed. No more withdrawals for the rest of the day. Remember, they get to make the rules. The person with the guns makes the rules, and you don't have any guns, so you can't make any rules. So that's what you're going to be hit with. And it may be blackout periods with your bank. They won't call it a bank holiday. They'll say, the ATM machines are down. It's 3 o'clock. ATM machines usually go down at 3 p.m. That is what it is. So if you want to withdraw money, you got to get back here tomorrow morning when the bank opens, be the first 100 people in line or whatever. All right. And then you wait, you sleep outside of the bank, and the first person in line, the bank opens up the next morning only to hear, oh, we don't have any more money. Nope. The armored car hasn't delivered us any money today, so we don't have any money. I'm so sorry. Well, I need to withdraw some money. No, I'm sorry, you can't do that. Well, it says here my ATM card won't work either. Yeah, I know, because we don't have any money. Let me get this straight. So you're saying my ATM card won't even work because you don't have any cash? I don't need cash. I mean, it's digital assets, right? Yeah, I know, but we don't have any money. What do you mean you don't have any money? If it's digital, why don't you have any money? Because we don't have any money. Our systems are down. But your systems have been down for a week. Yeah, I know. We're working on it. We'll have it up as soon as possible. When will it be up? I don't know. Well, why is the bank doors even open? I don't know. Why is the bank open if I can't conduct any business in the bank? I can't take money out, and I can't use credit cards, can't use no plastic. What in the world? Yeah, I know. I don't know what to tell you. Have a nice day. And why are there armed guards outside the bank and inside the bank? Why are dudes dressed in full combat gear with AR-15s? Why? Why is this looking like Beirut in Lebanon in the 80s? What's going on here? I don't know what to tell you. Turn on your TV. Educate yourself. So that's what you're going to have. You got your grocery store issue and you got your bank issue. And then the next phase kicks in this way. Say you're one of the lucky ones who has enough money. Say you're one of the lucky ones who has enough cash on hand, and you're one of the lucky ones who has a local grocery store to you that has everything in there that you want, and you are able to get it, and you don't have a problem. Well, here's your first problem. On your way into the store, you have to push your way through a crowd that the police and the military are not keeping away from you. Their goal and job and mission is to protect the store. So they're only controlling ingress and egress as far as the store is concerned. So they're going to make sure that only a certain amount of people can go in the store at one time, and they have, in order for more people to go in, those people must come out. So you got armed people with AR-15s inside the store and outside the store in full riot gear, and they're ready to bust a cap if necessary. Meanwhile, there's a sea of people outside of the store, even in the parking lot, and they're all coming up to you, trying to hustle you and beg you for some food. That's right. You guys out there, you have to fight through the man trap, the honey traps in the parking lot leading up to the grocery store. Hey, boo, come here. Let me holler at you real quick. And I think you know the proposition she's about to give you. And she's asking you for a sandwich. She's asking you for a bag of groceries. And then you have the other people out there. You have the lady with her children. My children are starving. Can you please just bring me out one can of Enfamil? Just bring me one can of Similac. Please grab me some diapers if you see some diapers in there. Please. You'll see that in there. And you'll see the woman with her kids, and you'll feel sad. Oh, my goodness. You'll see the kids' stomachs distended, like the old commercials for UNICEF back in the 80s, showing you the Africans with the flies around the face and the big bellies. And you'll see that here in America, and you'll be like, well, oh my goodness, I'm in a flashback. I'm in a flashback moment. I'm back in the early 1980s, and I'm seeing the commercials. But this time, these commercials are standing right in front of my face. Yes, so men, get ready for the propositions. All the IG models, they wouldn't give you the time of day because you were patient. You'll be able to see those same IG models standing outside the grocery store in the parking lot. Now they're propositioning you. Now they want to get in your DMs because they're starving. All right. And that oversized gluteus maximus is pretty much invisible now. It's shrunk because they haven't been able to eat. That's right. The IG models are waiting for you in the parking lot at a grocery store near you. That's right. And everyone else, you're going to be propositioned too. You're not going to escape. There's going to be people in there begging, pleading with you, trying to proposition you. Yo, I got this I got this PlayStation 5. I'll let it go for a bag of groceries. I'll let it go for a sandwich. I'll let it go if you bring me back a steak and cheese when you come up out of there. I can let this PlayStation 5 go with 50 games. I got 50 games with this PS5, and I'll let it go for. Tell you what, you bring me out a 6-pack. All right, bring me out a 6-pack of Heineken, and and some cigarillos, and throw in there a ham sandwich. And I'll let this go. I'll let it go for that. How about that? How about that? I'll hook you up, man. It's the deal of a lifetime, man. Don't pass this up. And then there'd be another dude trying to holler at you while you on your way to the store. Doesn't matter if you're at a grocery store or a fast food joint. The crowd, the sea of people outside will be there, will be a staple of that establishment 24/7. And no, the police and no, the military will not disperse the crowds. They do not care about the crowds. They care about the establishment. We've already established that. So the next thing will be you see hustle man out there. Yo, man, look, let me holler at you. Come here, man. Let me holler at you. And then you go over there and you're like, hey, I know you. Aren't you ABC, the rapper? Yeah, you are ABC 123, the rapper. Shh, man, be quiet. Don't let people know me. Shh, come here, let me holler at you, man. You all loud and everything, man. Come here, I'm trying to holler at you. Well, how can I help you, little ABC? What's up? What's good? Look, man. You see this truck jewelry I got on? I paid $400,000 for these chains, and I'm willing to let you rock these chains. You can have this. I'm gonna give this to you, right? Look, man. All I need is a loaf of bread and a carton of eggs, and I'm gonna let these go. I'm gonna let you rock with these. No, thank you, man. No, I'm not interested. I tell you what, don't walk away, man. I'm trying to holler at you. Come here, don't walk away. See my Lambo right here? See this Lamborghini right here? Fly, isn't it? Yep. Here are the keys right here. Just take the keys, right? I'm gonna let you take these keys. When you come out that store, when you come out of there, you just bring me back a Big Mac and a large fry, and it's yours. Now you guys think I'm clowning. You think I'm being funny, but I'm not. I'm being as serious as a coronary. The day is coming where you will be able to buy a Lamborghini for a sandwich. The day is coming where your favorite IG model will be available to you for a carton of eggs and a loaf of bread. The day is coming. I remember someone showed me not long ago, a few years ago, where in California, females were running ads in the personals saying, I'll be your wife, I'll be your girlfriend, because they were homeless and broke and looking for a sugar daddy. Now, you can't make this stuff up. These are facts. And that part has already happened. So is it far-fetched for you to believe what I am saying to you right now that is going to happen? Now, let's backtrack just for a quick second. Now, Peter Schiff years ago told us the Fed cannot raise rates. He did not mean that they physically couldn't do it. He means that it was not feasible for them to do it, because the day that they start doing it, they're going to destroy the economy. That the collapse was going to accelerate. That's what he was trying to explain. All right, because people were like, "Oh, you said they couldn't raise rates. They've been raising rates." He said, "That's not, that they missed the point. That's not what he was talking about." Okay, think of it this way. All right, you got, what was that? It was a movie. My wife and I, one of our favorite movies. We laugh about it all the time. I think it was Life Stinks. If you've never seen Life Stinks, that is a hilarious movie. You need to check it out. But one of the parts of the movie that I liked was when, I won't spoil the plot or nothing, but the guy is in the ER, and they mistake him for someone else or whatever. So they hit him with 500 cc's of lithium or whatever, right? And as time goes on, he's being ignored. He's still in the hallway of the ER. Each time the doctor came by, he was hitting him with 500 cc's. And the last one, he was like, "Give him 500 cc's. He needs it." And that just put the dude out. It just put him out of his misery. Basically, it was hilarious. But that's what's happening now. All right, so that's what the economy. The economy is the dude that was in the ER, and the doc kept coming by, hitting him, pumping him full of lithium or pumping him full of morphine. All right, too much morphine, the patient dies. Well, that's what's happening here. Too much stimulus, the patient dies. Too much raising of interest rates, the patient dies. All right. Now, I did a documentary back in 2016 explaining that there is no collapse, not really, that everything was being done by design. When you say collapse, you're talking about an organic thing. Like I said, something happened, like World War I or World War II or something. You minding your business. You don't have no beef. Your country has no beef with anybody. It's never been invaded. You've never colonialized or did dirt with any other nation. You're just chilling. You're just an island unto yourself, just chilling. And a nation flies a bomber over your country and drops a nuke, and boom. Because of that, and the circumstances that happened after the explosion of the nuke, now your economy collapsed. All right. That's an organic situation that could not be helped. It was not because of failure of your Treasury Department. That's what we're talking about here. This was done on purpose. This was not an organic situation. It just happened like war broke out, or some kind of like the Black Death of the 12 and 1300s. This is not that scenario. This was on purpose. So what Peter Schiff was trying to get you to see is that if they raise rates, it was going to destroy the economy. That's exactly what's happening. But they're saying, well, we have to do this because we have to, do something about this inflation. You're not going to do a jack about hyperinflation by raising rates when you have a supply glut and you have all these shortages out here. You're just going to exacerbate the problem. Mark my words, this is going to end badly. Now, they may be able to stretch this out a little bit further, but eventually the patient is going to become unalive. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening right here, right now. The result of the FOMC's actions yesterday and her speech, Miss Yellen's speech this morning, I'm sure I say this afternoon, this is what it's going to lead to. Absolute Armageddon, the thing I warned you about, but it's been done organically. All right? It's been done on purpose. So you may have a little bit of time here when you see the markets rally a little bit, Janet said she was going to do this. The Fed said they were going to do that. So we all right. Okay, fine. We all right. Okay. Well, get ready because like I said, this is going to end very bad. But in the short term, you might be able to put a piece of change in your pocket because they're going to do what they do. And the markets are going to do what they do. So there's an opportunity here for you to make some coin. So there's been a midday update. If you go to your dashboard at PulseWaveTrading.com, you will see the update. I updated all of the reports. It is a post FOMC update. It is a big deal. That's why I did it. All right. So prepare yourself for what's coming. Now, let's take a little teeny look here. I'll save the rest for this evening, but we're going to end it here. I just want to show you what's been going on. This is GLD. This is your gold ETF. Remember the bullish pointer way back here we talked about from March the 8th of 2022? Well, now we find ourselves in this position. So therefore, it looks that gold has now put itself into a bottom for now. It stopped trending lower. It stopped falling, and it's ready now to rally. 172 is our initial target, $172. That puts it at the bottom of the Kumo cloud. The next target will be the top of the cloud around 180. All right. What you are looking for here is for the market to relock in on the long-term trend. The long-term trend is represented here at the bottom of your screen where it says bullish. The long-term trend of gold is in a bull market on the algo charts. That's the long-term trend. The intermediate trend right now has gone out of the bullish zone and has been in the bearish zone. All right. And you can see the acceleration of the downward thrust here. All right. That's where we are now. The short term or intraday has turned bullish. So what you need is for the green on the screen here to flip this line back black, and then we will be on our way to a new bull market in gold. That means relocking in to the long-term trend of a bullish perspective, and then we'll be off to the moon. All right, so right now, long term is still in a bullish configuration. The intermediate trend or term has been bearish, but we've ceased trending down after hitting new 52-week lows, and the market is now trying to put in a bottom and get ready to rally. This green here came on the back of a primary rally alert that we got on July 21st, and since then we've been getting nice upside production. So we're looking for this to continue. I show you this so you can see what the effect of the Department of Treasury and the central banks by way of the Federal Reserve, what their actions have done to the market. When we look at our Illuminati index, HACK or HACK, we can see here that the longer term trend here on the algo chart is a bullish one. The intermediate trend has been a bearish one, and the short-term trend has relocked in to the bearish side for the last 4 trading sessions. We've been getting that downside production. So on this one, you still got a ways to go because your short-term and intermediate term are now bearish. All right, so that's saying that this market for the time being has put in its high. All right. Yeah, am I saying Mother Nature is still alive? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right. So, Lord willing, we'll look at some more charts tonight after the close. But for now, that's all I got. And remember, smash that like button. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And if you've been, slacking, lacking, and you haven't went to PulseWave Trading and signed up and taken the 14-day challenge, I double dog dare you to take the 14-day challenge or the PulseWaves and see for yourself the power of the PulseWave system, the most powerful trading tool ever created on planet Earth. Take the 14-day challenge and see how much money you can make in 14 days. I double dare you. But if you don't like money or you're afraid of money, you're scared of money, and you like poverty, then I'm not gonna drag you. You go ahead and do you. But for the rest of y'all, if you want to better your situation, or you just want to grow your risk capital, if you want to grow your current investment, you need the PulseWave. And that's just the bottom line. You need the PulseWaves. All right, people, I'm out of here. Lord willing, I'll see you guys this evening, and I'm out. Peace.